The Minnesota Twins did virtually nothing at the trade deadline. Let's talk about that. Oh wait, no, Rhett and Link. That was just a joke. That was just a joke. Don't. Hello to the pessimistic, optimistic, and everyone in between. My name is Connor Philippi, and welcome back to the Minnesotan Sports Podcast. And yes, the Minnesota Twins did virtually nothing at the trade deadline, which is, at the end of the day, what I thought was best for the team. About a week or so ago, I made a video about this exact subject, talking about what I thought the Twins should do, whether I thought they should buy, sell, or just stay the same. And eventually I came to the conclusion that they should stay the same. Over the last week, I kind of watched the Twins win a couple impressive games. They ended up going up to like 5 above 500 at one point, and then they just lost 5 in a row, including getting swept by the Kansas City Royals. But the thing that was most frustrating about it was that there was one clear aspect of our team where I feel like we could have won a good amount of those games, and that was the bullpen. And so you're kind of in that back and forth where, like, okay, we're still like only a couple games above 500. We're still likely to get crushed in the first round by whatever team we play. But then you get to thinking, you're like, okay, how many of these games this season could we have won if we just had a little bit better bullpen help? And if this offense can keep going like they have the last few weeks in the last month, maybe, you start to get those theories in your head as a fan that wants to be opportunistic, but also realistically realize the chances of us even beating whatever the 6th seed team ends up being, if we even win the division, is very low. And so at the end of the day, as much as I wrestle with it, and still I kind of was holding on to hope that the Twins would make some major move that would completely change the season around, at the end of the day, you just have to face facts. That's not going to happen this year. The Minnesota Twins might still win our division just because it's so bad, but I just don't see us doing much in the playoffs. But that's what this video is about. I'm going to talk a little bit about what I think success will look like for the Twins going through the rest of this season, based off of what happened. So the past is now in the past. We didn't make a single acquisition to help our team. We did make the acquisition that ended up sending Jorge Lopez away. We got a guy that in Floro that might improve our team, and it was kind of just one of those swaps where it was like, okay, both of these players are not helping our respective teams. They're in a slump. Let's just see if changing their scenery and swapping will help situations at all. And I don't know if it will or not, but that's the only move we made. So essentially, we just stayed put. I like that we didn't sell, because I think that whenever regardless of what the situation is, if you have a shot to win the division, you have to not sell at this trade deadline. I think if the Twins had been in any of these other divisions where, in the AL West, we currently be, I think, in second, or would we be in last? We'd be in dead last in the AL West if we switched places with Oakland right now. Or if we were in the AL East, we would also be in last by a half game. So if we had been in any other division, I really think we would have sold. But when you're in this situation, you can still win the division, and then it's the same thing with every single sport. It doesn't matter if you're even below 500. If you make it into the playoffs, anything can happen, and that's what we've come to know. And in going into a potential playoff series where it's only 2 out of 3 games, all we need is a really good showing from our starting guys, and if we can get the bats going, if Correa can be clutch again in the playoffs, who knows what could happen. So at the end of the day, all those things happen. The past is in the past. We can't change that. This is now as good as this team is going to get on paper throughout the rest of the season. We're going to get Royce Lewis back most likely by the end of August. That'll be a big boost to our lineup. So the question is, with the current players we have right now, what would be considered successful this season? And you can go multiple different routes with this. You could say that winning a series would be enough to consider the season successful. I think that's what a lot of people were striving for even before the season started, before we knew how good or bad this team would be. And then there are some people that are saying, let's just win one game in the playoffs. And then there's people that aren't even that optimistic about the team and are just saying, can we please just win this division? Like, I know the Guardians gave up multiple guys at the deadline, and they already have a much harder schedule going down the stretch than us, but still, I would just be impressed if we could even win this division and make the playoffs, considering how low the morale of the team can be sometimes with our underperformance. All those things aside, I'm going to give my quick take on it, and I think this Twins team will be genuinely successful if we win a playoff series. I don't think it's enough for us to just win one game, because you can be as bad as even the Oakland Athletics, and you might be able to steal one game in a 2 out of 3 series or a 3 out of 5 series. But the Twins right now are 55 and 53. And if you look at the current standings, looking at the wild card standings right now, if the season ended today, it would be the Toronto Blue Jays at 59 and 49 in the 6th spot of the wild card standings. This is a team that we've played before this year. I think we're losing the season series against them. I don't know if we play them anymore throughout the rest of the season, but this is a team that if we have 3 home games against, you never know. I'm not saying I would expect us to beat them, but again, it's a 2 out of 3 series. If we're going to prove to the front office that we are going to continue to be competitive here and that we should competitively rebuild and not just sell the whole team, we have to prove we can do something in the playoffs. If the Twins can kind of stick it out, if we can win a few more games than lose them going into these last 2 months, let's just say in theory that we win 18 out of 30 games each of the next 2 months. We're a nice 10 over 500 team. We beat some teams we probably should have beat because we have a really easy schedule, but at the end of the day, we're 10 above 500. We go and we have a home game at Target Field, and we find a way to defeat the Toronto Blue Jays. That gets some momentum going. And yes, we'd probably get absolutely destroyed by either the Texas Rangers or the Houston Astros, depending on who wins that division in the next round in the ALDS. But we'd still make a statement, I think, to our front office to say, hey, we're here, we're trying to compete, but we need a couple more pieces and we need, honestly, better coaching. And I think the front office right now is just in a daze where they're like, okay, we've had so many years, 20 plus straight playoff games without winning a single one. I think the front office is even starting to believe this team is cursed, and they're starting to believe that whatever they throw at this team, we're still not going to be successful. And I think that if we can finally just exercise those demons, and I know this team right now is not as good as the Toronto Blue Jays, but we have 3 home games in the playoffs if we win this division, which we should, because the Guardians were already worse than us and they gave up more guys this offseason. Anything's possible in a 3-game series, and if we can just get over that hump, we start off by winning the first game of that series, and we just break that curse of all those playoff games without a win, and then we can just keep on trucking, carry that momentum through, and hopefully Sonny Gray and Joe Ryan can get us to that level where we can just win a series and put all of that negative stuff behind us, put all the past behind us. Even if we get crushed in the next round, we no longer need to say that we have not won a playoff series since 2002. And I think that would just be great for our team, and anything less than that, I think, would not be a success for this team. And I think it would result in us either selling in the offseason or doing nothing at all, the front office not even lifting a finger to try and make us better. So let me know in the comments what you think about that. I'm always looking forward to hearing what you guys think about my channel and what I say on here. And just let me know if there's anything else you want me to have a conversation about. I am starting a new schedule where I'm now determined to post 3 times a week. I know I've only been posting once every week or maybe once every other week for a while now, but as the NFL season starts to ramp up, I'm going to get more and more content out there. I'm going to make some top 20, position rankings on a bunch of different positions in the NFL. There's a lot of different things that are coming. So if you want to watch all those things, make sure you follow and like my videos, and I'm going to make sure to get that stuff out for you. I'm going to be posting a lot more stuff in the coming weeks leading up to the NFL season, and I'm so pumped for the start of the NFL season. So thank you once again. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the flip side.